looking at D&D Reddit. Now, I'm going to try to react. We're going to try to do a compilation of reactions to D&D Reddit and see how it goes. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we're going to do things. I tend to like certain threads, but we're going to check out things. What's this? First prototype of my Dice-a-Pult. Dice-a-Pult? Maybe a bit overpowered? Oh my gosh, it's actually... Oh, that's actually cool. Very dramatic. And then he has a little band there. Oh, this is great. I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Not a single human in this group. Commission I made for D&D, GoPro, amazing characters, and nice trip. You can imagine the size of the universe. Yeah, I love seeing a group of people that everyone's playing as this is the odd one out right here. Everyone's playing an animal, a furry of some type, except for this person right here in the front. But then you got the the lich in the background. We got some D&D art. Hello, everyone. Daddy's home. Welcome home, darling. Hello, gorgeous. Did you get the kids something? You promised. I mean, of course I did. This is for you, too. Its name is Greg. Pull the nail out and he talks. Best put it back in if you want to cast spells with him, though. Wow, thanks, Daddy. So cool. What happens where... What's happening? Where am I? Oh, no. Oh, what the heck? Is it just a skull? Oh, they love it. Oh, by the dark gods, please no trivia. What a lovely gift. Yeah. Could I borrow a wand from you? Of course. Jeez Louise. Imagine being an adventurer and having to go back to your kids. I'm doing good, just getting ready to run my D&D session. Oh, nice. CME comic strip is great. Is that what this guy is? The CME comic strip? Dude, we should do that. You should, like, there's... People always kills off their families in Dungeons and Dragons. What we should do is you should, like, have your family alive, and then you have to go visit them, like, every once in a while, and and try to be, like, a decent parent. My dad found his old characters. Yeah, old D&D, like, minis used to be made out of metal, man. They were, like, hella metal, pun intended. Here's some character art, which looks really cool. If I were to make this character, I feel like this character would be a sorceress. But wait, well, she's surrounded by animals. I feel like I would multi-class. I don't know how multi-classing, I think it would be redundant to multi-class into, like, a druid sorcerer spec. But looking at this, it would either have to be something like that, something that's akin to animals in a way. But with the way that she's dressed, it's got to be some type of spellcaster. That's what I would go with that. Another artwork, this one looking more mage-like. This one, Deathcap Druid. This one just straight up says it's a druid with the fungus going for it, so that's pretty neat. Stop worrying about party size, having a balanced team comp. Now, is this for players or is this for the DM? If it's for players, yeah, I agree with this, and this is something that I've been saying for a while now. Is like, don't worry about team comp. Let me as the DM balance the game for you, because I will do that. I will balance the game for you. Will it make my life easier if you do have a balanced team comp? Yeah, but in a different way. Maybe not easier. You just think differently, right? Like, if there's no healer, then I play towards not having a healer. If there's healer, then I can play towards the fact that there's a healer. And so I think, like, it doesn't matter what team comps you go for. Having a balanced team comp, I think, is great and adds variety, and everyone gets to do stuff. But if multiple people want to play the same thing, by all means, like, don't be afraid to do something like that. I think the DM should make it their prerogative to kind of bend the world around the players, so to speak, and when it comes to, like, creating parties and stuff like that. So often see people worrying about having a balanced party with which comes up every time new campaigns start. A new group meets, yeah, and they're like, "What are you playing? What are you gonna play?" "Oh, I'm not gonna play that. I'll play this. I'm not gonna play that." People even flat out refuse to run or play in the campaign without a minimum player number. I think this is stupid. The minimum player number. I have some people in my games that do that. Like, oh, I just don't think it's fun. I don't think, and really what I think it is they end up having to like role play more, or they end up having to play more. And some people are there for different reasons, you know. They're all there for like different reasons when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. And I think like player size, yeah, you have to do more interactions, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know. A minimum number so far as to cancel the game that already has 5 players because they couldn't find a 6. That's stupid. That's stupid. I get it if there's just 2 people. Like, I can understand that. You know, I would even go as far as to say like I would still push for 2 people, but to do for 6, that's just weird. I was introduced along. I just met with a group, and one of the players was expressing worry that we only have 5 players in the party. It literally melted my brain. Yeah, that's, if anything, 5 players is already getting to the point where it's like there's too many people. I like having extra people in the party because there's never been a time where people make it consistently to the game. So having a large party means that when people can't make it, you end up with like the correct size, and that's what I do. Yeah, 3 to 5 is good. Yeah, can you imagine someone being like, "Oh my God, there's only 5 of us"? I was introduced along with one other player to D&D by mutual friends and semi-experienced Dungeon Master. We played in that campaign in our early 20s and on and off around 3 years with only 2 players. It was some of the most fun I have in every. Yeah, you can play a game with 2 players. You have to do more, but like to me that just sounds like that's just like great. I don't have to wait for my turn anymore. I'll never understand people that don't want to do it. You're still bouncing off of someone. It's like I don't get it. Like, and then those same, it's just, I don't know. If someone feels that way, then let me know. But the one person that I know that doesn't like it, they don't even have a reason behind it. They just say they don't see it as fun, and it's that to me isn't like, why is it not as fun? Don't hold yourself back because of lack of players. Enjoy the game, enjoy each other, have fun. Life is too short to give up on game because of player count. Yeah, I agree 100%. Man, really thankful and humble everyone is sharing their experience. Yeah, that was good stuff. Let's see what they say. I never worry about party composition. If the party is missing a healer, more options, a frontline, they get more creative. Exactly. It just changes the way you think about things, or give more options for alternative combat. People who try to balance out the party, I think there's you can get into the category of like the different types of people that play Dungeons and Dragons, and honestly, I think the one that I find the most annoying, and there are some annoying, you know, whenever you meet someone and they think a certain way, and you're like, oh, okay, you're one of those, and you're one of those, you know, you label them in a certain aspect. The people that I think overthink too much. You know, it's the guy or girl. It's the person that doesn't that needs a reason for their character to be in the party. They're also the person that's constantly trying to make sure there's checks and balances that are going on. They're also the person that's also kind of like a rule lawyer and making sure, like, if the DM changes the rules, they get a little bit flustered about it, and you're just like, dude, we're just playing a game. We're just playing a game, and have fun with it. Problem player, aka pain in the ass. True, too true. Like, that's they're the problem player. Had a party of rogue, wizard, bard, no frontline. They would not engage in traditional combat. If it was a threat, they would They retreated and picked the battlefield. It was great. It was cooperative storytelling, and I this is one of my favorite things to say. I say this all the time. This is the first time I've seen someone else say this. It's collaborative storytelling. I 100% agree with this. Not DM versus party. Yep, I agree. It's not DM versus party. It's collaborative story. You're working together to make the story together. I think a little bit of metagaming goes a long way on both sides. Play whatever that damn well you feel. The only consideration I make is that with players, don't step on each other, and everyone is awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the only thing that you want to stop, there's no wrong way of playing the game, but if you have fun out of other people's expense, then you're definitely playing the game wrong. You just definitely are. So that's a good thing. Good post. I like it. Good stuff. Homebrew Armor of Intense Negotiations. Okay, let's check this out. What's Armor of Intense Negotiations? One, I like the design. I love high fantasy looking stuff. Made for legendary Dark Elf Bard on a quest to spread love and beauty. This armor protects you and your fashion sense. Okay, yep, I agree. Drip is important. Drip's one of the most important things you can do in any situation, any game. Doesn't matter if it's tabletop or not. While allowing you to engage in intense forms of negotiation. While wearing the armor, you get +1 bonus in AC. Okay, that seems fair. You are always prepared for intense negotiations. You have advantage on insight, wisdom checks to determine whether a person is specifically romantically attracted to you, and advantage on all performance, charisma, and persuasion checks related to romantic activities. This is just for the horny bard that wants to sleep with everybody. Always in fashion, you can use a bonus action to cause the armor to assume the illusionary appearance of any set of clothing or armor. This is probably the coolest thing ever. Always in fashion. This is okay. Straight to business. You can doff the armor of intense negotiation as an action. Yes, straight to business. Yeah. You can get straight to. You can take it off as an action real quick, but just like that. Yeah, this armor should literally be called the bonk armor. You're trying to see who's horny, and you're gonna put them in the horny jail. That's all. It's a horny detector. That's all it is. It's a horny detector. You give this one if if there's someone at the table that you got a crush on, but that you're trying to make your move, you give them this armor, you see if they try to flirt with every NPC, you guys flirt with each other at the table, and then next, and then if they don't flirt with anyone or they never wear the armor, then you picked up the sign. I'm gonna be honest, when it said Armor of Intense Negotiation, my first thought went to Star Wars. Yes, my first start went into Star Wars as well. Aggressive negotiations. Padme, one of the best Star Wars characters ever. Oh, he's saying that right there. An aggressive. I was expecting Dress to pull out a lightsaber. No, not a lightsaber, a blaster. Make it out of plate. Make it take too long to take off. It's like, yes, this person is interested in you and they want to get intimate with you, and then you're like, take off the armor. It takes about like 30 minutes to take off the armor. You're just like, hold on, I'm getting there. I'm just hang in there. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. Armor. It's a horny piece of armor. It's a horny piece of metal. New team. No art. Okay, Night Ranger. Good piece of art. I'm gonna try not to read what the class is, and we're gonna try to make a class out of it. This is sick. This is really sick. This looks like a druid, like 100%. Just the whole like tribal essence druid. If I wish druids, there should be a druid subclass that can turn into dragons. I like Nala, Dragon Daughter. If there was a druid subclass where you could turn into dragons, that'd be sick. It might already exist. I don't even realize it. But I think that would be a freaking. Oh God, can you imagine if you could just be a dragon in Dungeons & Dragons? Like, not just a dragonborn, but just transform into a full-on freaking dragon, and then like as you level up, just kind of like the ranger class where you got to like your dragon, you get like the spiritual dragon and it grows with you, but like as a druid dragon, your dragon just like gets bigger the stronger you get, the more connected you get with your dragon beings. You start as like a whelp, and then you get into like an adult, and then you can get up to an ancient dragon. My wife would like these. The coolest part about these dice is that they come with a coin. Holy shish, what was that? I played D&D with 15 DMs, and it was absolutely awesome. Sounds like a dream come true. The one who had to be the DM for that session, the person who had to DM for 15 DMs, he is the one that has the ultimate curse. That guy is the one that is spawned the original curse. If you are a DM, you know you never get to play D&D. If you end up with other DMs and yet you somehow still draw the short stick, the short straw, you are beyond cursed. You're mega cursed. A few years ago, I started an app group with a few DMs. We exchanged ideas, gave each other tips, helped each other think up ridiculous tavern names. At it go, over time, the group grew. It turned into a pretty lively group of geeks, one that I really wanted to get together with. So I had an idea that we could have all dungeon masters for each other on the same day. Wait, what? What if we could have have them all together the same day? Yesterday we gathered for the second time with 15 DMs, and it was absolutely brilliant. Everyone was split up over 3 tables, 5 DMs each. Every DM prepared an encounter. Everyone prepared an encounter of an hour within the context of the overarching setting. This time it was Feywild. Every DM was completely free to think up their wildest ideas, social, combat, puzzle, whatever. Every hour the DM switched. Wow! This is a utopia. A utopia does exist. A utopia does exist. If there was a heaven, I believe these guys found the closest thing to it. Holy shish kebab. This is beautiful. There's a Beast Boy meme going around at the moment. He goes full dragon. I need to see that meme. I need to see that Beast Boy meme. At the end of the day, I DM'd a huge final showdown in which every party controlled one huge monster, and they duked out against 3 big monsters they controlled. It was a gorgeous mess. That sounds freaking awesome. I am so happy to hear that. I'm glad I was wrong. I'm glad my assumption about this post was utterly and completely wrong, because I thought one dude just got screwed over and had to DM for a bunch of other guys, but that was nowhere near the case. What is this? This is loud. We make animated maps. Check out many free on pages. I think animated maps are really cool. They add a lot to the game. There's a lot of things you can do to make the game as dynamic as possible, and I think the more dynamic you can make a game, whether it be adding music, lighting, changing maps, is really good. Little Goblin Cook. The rich kid eats first, but always gets the what? The fart cupcake. Yeah, don't mess. If the goblin's the cook, you stay away. You be nice. You don't take, and you don't be a picky eater if the goblin's the cook. Okay, what is happening here? Kids rolling a 20. Celebrating his 2nd birthday with the D roll. Oh, he's learning real early. He's learning real early the hardships of life. Art I did of my Hex Blood Phantom Rogue. That looks sick. Lily Harsgrave and her Jackalope. Oh, she has a Jackalope companion. It's worse when the lizard man decides to cook after battle. You know, man, you gotta eat. Everyone's gotta eat. You know what I mean? Everyone's gotta eat. I love this. Okay, so this is a barbarian. She's a barbarian with a mounted combat feat, and she's got the lizard from episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This is sick. I want to make this character. I want to make that it's with Polearm Master. So she's barbarian. So let's say she was able to get. She's a human. No, she's an elf. I'm sorry. She's an elf barbarian. She's got the tattoos on her, so she could be. What has tattoos? Those were people they were fighting. You know, people are animals, man. Like, people are animals as well. You gotta eat, man. They're dead, you know? It's a circle of life. They died. And, you know, I can either put them in the ground and let them rot, or I can make use of them, you know? They make use of... you know, you don't want anything to go to waste. They're gonna turn to bones anyways. I'm sure they won't mind. They're dead. What are you gonna do? You're gonna kill them and just leave them on the... You're gonna kill them, loot their bodies, and then leave them on the side of the road? And then you're gonna get mad at me? You're gonna get mad at the lizard guy for eating them? That's what's gonna happen? I hope you get to feed one of Fabe's characters in this instance. You get to feed one of them? We'll see. Yeah, I mean, he's always down to play Project Odyssey. We'll see if we can get him if he plays a lizard person. So this character definitely is mounted combat barbarian with Polearm Master, and I do polearms have the heavy weapon set? If they do, then heavy weapon master. If not, polearm's really cool because then you got reach on a mount where you're very like mobile, and I feel like the tattoos. She's a wild magic barbarian. Perfect. Love the idea. Love the concept. Just put it in my head. I need this character. I love looking at characters and like just a picture and looking at them. This one's a wizard. I don't know if there's any water wizards, but she's an enchanted wizard. Easy enough. Any features? Probably just like the way that she has her spells and her hair pulled back in a way. I think she's got the sniper spells, but she's definitely a wizard. Polearm with Sentinel. You know, if they're high enough level, yeah, I agree. Polearm with Sentinel. Lawan, she's floating, so she has to have the ability to levitate / use fly, which wizards can learn anything. Sorcerers can learn fly, so she can do that. Looks like she's casting a spell without using any signs, or you know what? She doesn't have a spell book on her. She's a sorcerer. There's no spell book. She's a sorcerer. So she's using quick casting right now. Show this one off. This dude right here with the light. She's wearing heavy armor. She's a fighter. He's a rogue. DM kills my PC while I'm away. Oof, that's rough. Oof, this one's a spicy one. I like the spicy ones. I really like the spicy ones. So my DM just messaged me asking if I'll be back for the session tomorrow. He approved a leave of absence because I got married and he approved a leave of absence. I'm already not liking this DM. Man, screw you, man. Your game is not the center of the world. People have lives. If the guy just didn't feel like playing D&D that day, all right, he can skip that day, all right? You don't get to just you don't get to just approve like, oh, you're getting married, okay. You know that's good enough. That's a good enough excuse. This freaking DM has probably worked corporate retail his entire life and now has that same mentality as them. And he just told me that my cleric was disintegrated, killing me off while I was away. Bold on his part, very bold. Very bold, but I don't know how I feel about that. I would be pissed. I'd be like, "Why'd you kill me while I was away? What the fuck, man?" I don't know what happened, what happened to lead up to all this. That's all he told me. Has this ever happened to anyone else? I think like as if people don't make it to your campaign, just their character's not there. Their character's just not there. Okay, like it's as simple as that. It's a game. I think it's silly how some people take it so seriously. How some people need everything explained to them in game. I think it's so silly. It's like we're literally sitting at a table together rolling some dice. And you want this, you need this to be as realistic as possible. Like what this is the thing you want to be realistic? That's silly. It's stupid. No, don't take your game so seriously. PC got lost for a day in a game. Problem solved. Exactly. Dude didn't wake up whenever you guys picked up camp. He decided to sleep in. It's like it's whatever. Like you can come up with so many easy reasons why he's not there. You didn't even have to kill him. He could have just gone unconscious in a fight, you know? You don't even have to drop his health points. He gets hit once by a dude and gets knocked out, but he doesn't have to roll death saving throws. He's just literally like asleep. Edit number 2. So approved absence basically means letting him know in advance that I won't be there. He doesn't really approve it. We do this because a table rule is if you miss without notice 3 sessions in a row, your character dies. This is played off as you weren't able to take care of yourself. I've played at this table for 4 years and 3+ campaigns. Yeah, this DM's a dick. With this DM, this is the first time this has happened where I left off. We had just all had a nightmare that we were killed in. Different dreams for each PC, but same results. You wake up in cold sweat. He even did this to the elves and forced them to fall asleep. We were taking a long rest when this happened, and I ended the session after everyone woke up. That is the last thing that happened to my regulation. So one of the players, sort of like a co-DM, finally messaged me back. Basically, they're saying the cleric was an NPC that was player controlled, meaning I was running 2 characters, so I didn't need to be there for the cleric to be used and killed. Yeah, the DM just screwed him. Dude's getting married, and you're prioritizing your game like your game's the center of the world. This is so stupid. I hate this. I mean, I love the spiciness of it all, but the DM is an absolute jerk. Like, this guy's played with you for 4 years. So there's one of two things. There's only one of two things that I can think of. The first thing being that the DM is a prick who thinks that his game is more important than people's lives. The second thing is that the DM doesn't have a backbone, and this guy putting this on Reddit. He didn't like the guy on Reddit. Maybe the guy was a toxic player. Maybe he just didn't like the way he played. Maybe he didn't get along with people at the table, but he couldn't get. He didn't have the spine to get rid of him from the table. And then the second he had an excuse, he got rid of him. He killed his character the second he had an excuse to do it. I don't think that's the case. I think the DM's just a prick. Judging based on this guy's syntax and based on how this guy is kind of just like confused and kind of in shock, I definitely think that the DM's just screwed him over because he's a jerk. PC got lost and happened to me. I had to work and told the DM in advance I wouldn't make it to the next session. He let my character die. After I was visibly and verbally pissed, he had the party take me to be resurrected. After they looted my body, they dropped me off and left me at a monastery. I was resurrected and the party only gave me back 2 of my items and no gold to get anything. One party member metagames and kept my cloak because he wanted it for his character. I quit, walked away. Sorry that happened to you. Shitty deal. Congratulations. Yeah, those are some shitty toxic players. Those are some really bad players. If you play with people like that and you've addressed your concerns and you've shown how it upsets you, then yeah, I would you walk away from the table. Go find another group, because these people obviously take expense out of going out of this. This is why I appreciate you just having our characters mysteriously not present whenever we can't make the session. The story continues on, and we don't have to deal with the drama like this. Yeah, no. What's up, Jeff? How you doing today, man? Hey, thanks for dropping in. How you going today, man? Yeah, and like I'm a firm believer that like I players don't make it, and that's normal. I've DM'd for a decade. And I've never been in a campaign where all the players were there all the time. Never. Not once. I don't think it's statistically possible, especially with how everyone has different lives. And like I said before, if someone just doesn't feel like showing up to the session, my game, your game, a game of D&D is not the center of the world. Unless you're freaking Matthew Mercer or and you have Critical Role and it's your job, you know, and you're paying these people to be there to help make a livelihood for yourself and themselves, then yeah, maybe the D&D session has a bit priority in your life. But if you're playing as a hobby, like, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Like, just if they can't make it, you can come up with any arbitrary reason for them not to be there. And guess what? Your game can go on. You're literally sitting at a table with your friends, playing in a make-believe world. This is all it's all in your head. It's all in your. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it is. I don't care how realistic or how much time you spent making it realistic, or oh no, it doesn't fit in my story, it ruins my story. It's like oh wow, sorry, dude. Sorry that life. I'm sorry that your realistic imaginary world had a little bit of had a reality check to it. Jeez. Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this. Feel bad for this guy. Feel bad for the people out there. But yeah, he got screwed over. I'm glad that the comment section agrees with this. I definitely think the DM was just a prick. Maybe there's a third option that I probably didn't say to you guys. He was marrying the dude that was getting married, that his character died. He was marrying the DM's high school friend. The DM got friend zoned by the girl. The guy's getting to marry her, and the DM's just taking out his frustration. That's the other special thing about you. Sometimes it's not even a life emergency that makes us miss a session. Sometimes we are just tired or not in the mood to play, and you totally understand that. That is amazing. I love you for it. Thank you. Of course, Jeff is one of my friends, one of my players, and yeah, he can attest to that. Yeah, I totally get that, because I'm the same way. I'm the same way, and there's no reason I do try to play as much as possible. So if you miss out, yeah, you're missing on story. But if you want to come back and play, the door's always open for you. You know, and that's the best part. And the people that can't make it in my personal D&D game, those are the same people that tell me they love playing D&D and they love playing in my game and stuff like that. Like, D&D has weight to it and it has meaning to everyone. Oh my gosh, Gangster Tabaxi. Oh, I tried not to read the class. This looked like a vampire Tabaxi. Yeah, I would give him a rogue. I'd give him a rogue. All right, we're not gonna read the description. We're just gonna let me. I mean, obviously, right off the bat, druid. Like, this looks very much like a druid. They're not wearing any metal. They got a lot of nature around them, and they look really cool. I would go as far as to say this is not a moon druid. This is the other druid. I forget what it's called, but the spellcaster druid. There's gotta be druids that can turn into dragons. Druid of the Burning Tree. Yeah, I make that. Spoilers. We'll just skip it. Some maps. Ooh, let's see if this is any good. Magic item, Giantkin magic equipment. Items inspired by belts of giant strength with a set bonus. I like the set bonus magic pieces. I really do. Wondrous item, very rare, requires attunement. Wearing this belt, your strength score changes to a 21. That's ridiculous. The item has no effect on you if your strength without the belt is equal to or greater to 21. While wearing the belt, you gain a passive perception of 14. Okay, that's nice. The item has no effect on you. Okay. So I think like changing your strength to 21 should be the only thing the belt does, but you know, let's see what it goes. Grotesque looking two-head flail, roughly crafted out of the skulls of two medium-sized humanoids. The weapon used to belong to a entity chieftain. You gain +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. The flail deals an extra 1d4 psychic damage on hit. Okay, giant main. The oversized weapon crafted by giants requires both hands to be used properly. The flail has the heavy and two-handed properties. Due to the weapon's bigger proportion, it deals 1d10 bludgeoning damage on hit. So you're actually doing a d4 and a d10 extra points of damage. When you hit with the opponent attack using this flail, the target must succeed on strength saving throw. A DC 8 plus your proficiency bonus with your strength modifier, or be tripped and fall prone if the creature that triggered the opportunity attack is using heavy armor or shield and makes the strength saving throw with disadvantage. I say get rid of the heavy armor and shield portion of this, and you got yourself a decent weapon. The weapon's ridiculously strong. Homebrew stuff is kind of stuff like that. Intrusive thoughts. And you have set bonuses. You have advantage on saving throws against being blinded, charmed, or deafened. What? Okay, that's too much. Get rid of that. Flail now has 3 charges and regains all expended charges daily. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with the 2-handed flail, you can choose to cast the spell Disorientate Whisper. First level against the target as a part of the attack. Additionally, if the creature succeeds. That's okay. I like that. I'm actually a big fan of adding spells to weapons when you're homebrewing. Because I think spellcasters get a lot of like dynamic and fun with the things that they get to do. And if you give a martial class a weapon, then they will, and you have a spell on it, they're allowed to do a little bit creative stuff with it on top of that. Okay, so I think this is gonna be the last one, and then we'll jump back over to like some Dragon Age and some video games. But I do love talking about Dungeons and Dragons to you guys. But so this one looks, I like these. I like answering questions for people. So how do I handle a player who constantly charges at everything? Well, what do you mean constantly charges at everything? I'm assuming you just mean in battle. You have a player who is just constantly running into battle. Is this Leroy Jenkins style, where the party's trying to plan something and this guy is inconsiderate of what the party wants to do and does what he wants to do anyways? Or is this just a guy who doesn't size up his enemies and just walks up to them and hits them? If it's the latter option, if he just doesn't size up his enemies, I don't think you don't do anything. You just let him do that. That's fine. Honestly, you shouldn't be putting him in encounters where he'll insta-die anyways, right? Like some classes, they don't have a choice in their playing style. They have to play that way. If he's Leroy Jenkins things and he's running in there without the player's consent, and he's doing it at the detriment of the party and the detriment of other people's fun, he is a toxic player. You need to talk to him. You need to tell him to stop doing things that at the expense of other people's fun. And if he doesn't, he gets kicked from the party. Simple as that. Let's see what the actual issue is, though. As the title suggests, I have a player that constantly charges in the battle, into dungeons, into pretty much everything, with blatant disregard for his actions. He has a low intelligence of -1 and blames everything on that. I hate that. The party is annoyed, and he states that if he dies, he'll just create another character like that. Kick him. Kick him. Which I can put limitations on. I have no idea how to deal with this as a DM. You get rid of him. You get rid of him. He's a toxic player. He's playing at the expense of other people's fun. You get rid of him. If he's your friend, if he's your boyfriend, if he's your girlfriend, if she's your girlfriend, like, you get rid of him. I don't care. You don't play like that. That's not okay. it's a collaborative game. It's collaborative storytelling. He is not the protagonist of the story. It is not his world. It's not your world either as a DM. Even though you made it, right? Even though you make it, you control it. It's not your world. It's the group. Group makes it. A group makes things happen. You get rid of him. You tell him he's no longer invited to play. He's no longer welcome to play. And it's hard. It's not a fun conversation. But if you let this guy stay, it's gonna make things, you're making things difficult for the players. And excuse me. And and I've done this too many times where I wish I didn't do this. I wish I had just kicked people, or I've let people stay because I was too afraid to say something to a player. I was too afraid to hurt someone's feelings or to step. But in reality, you're making the game less hard, and that's what sucks about being a DM sometimes, is that unfortunately you're the one that ends up having to make some calls, some tough calls. People look up to you for a lot. They expect you to manage everyone's schedule. They expect you to be the social mitigator of issues and problems. That you're kind of like the judge in some situations, and they also expect you to make sure that things stay fun and entertaining, and part of that is dealing with people that are toxic, dealing with people that are just there for themselves. And really, you gotta, it's straight. You tell him he needs to stop. You tell him that the party is not okay with it, and it seems like you've already said that, because, or if you haven't said it, someone in the party's expressed those feelings, because he said he'll if he dies, he'll just make another character just like that. And putting limitations on him is not going to change it. He's going to come up with an excuse to do what he wants to do, no matter what. So this guy is just not someone to have fun with. Tell him to fix his behavior or get him kicked out. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's simple as that. And game solutions to out-of-game problems are always bad. I agree. I 100% agree. The answer to the problem is fixed by a real-life table rule. D&D is cooperative gameplay. It's exactly what I said. All players, and by extension their characters, must be in total cooperation with other players. Yeah, it's collaborative. It's not your story. It's everybody's story. It's everybody's game. You tell him, the player, to stop his disruptive behavior or find a different table. Yep. Yes. It sucks. It really does suck. But you got to rip that band-aid off. And he's toxic. He's just going to be a poison to everyone there. But yeah, it's unfortunate. So if you're having an issue like this, it's very similar like this, or if you don't know if the issue is like this, say it down in the comments below on YouTube, or join the Discord. You can always message me. I have a D&D 101 chat there that you can message me. I'm usually pretty good about answering the Discord, and we got a fun community. But check that out, and thank you, YouTube. I'm always streaming right now. I'm usually you can always catch me for sure on Saturdays streaming, and come check it out. Come say hi. But until next time, YouTube, play nice.